Leaded gasoline's century-long reign of destruction is over. The final holdout, Algeria, used up the last of its stockpile of leaded gasoline in July. That's according to the UN Environment Programme, which has spent 19 years trying to eliminate leaded gasoline around the globe. The successful enforcement of the ban on leaded petrol is a huge milestone for global health and our environment, Andersen, UNEP's executive director, said Monday. The United Nations estimates that the phase-out of the toxic fuel will save $2.44 trillion per year, thanks to improved health and lower crime rates, and prevent more than 1.2 million premature deaths. In 1921, researchers at General Motors discovered that adding a compound called tetraethyl lead to gasoline could improve engine performance. Not so fun fact, Thomas Midgley Jr., a scientist who played a key role in what proved to be a calamitous discovery, also developed chlorofluorocarbons, a class of refrigerants that went on to damage the ozone layer. There were other additives that could serve the same purpose today. Ethanol is widely used as a far safer alternative. But lead quickly became the standard. At the time, it was well known that lead was a poison, and there was concern over the risk to workers exposed to the dangerous additive. But researchers working for automakers, oil companies and chemical giants said that the general public would not be harmed by low levels of exposure through leaded gasoline. That turned out to be disastrously false. Children, in particular, are vulnerable to even minute amounts of lead exposure, and the use of leaded gasoline has been linked to lower IQs and higher rates of violent crime. Lead exposure also causes heart disease, cancer and other diseases, and when burned in an engine, lead can easily contaminate air, water and soil. It took decades for scientists to establish the damage that leaded gasoline was causing. By that point, virtually all the gasoline in the world had lead added to it. In the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency started an effort to phase out leaded gasoline in 1973. Starting in the 1970s, new vehicles were designed to run on unleaded gasoline. In fact, the new cleaner generation of cars couldn't run on leaded gasoline, it would destroy their catalytic converters. The new unleaded gasoline was more expensive, but the transition was unstoppable. By the mid-80s, most gasoline used in the U.S. was unleaded, although leaded gasoline for passenger cars wasn't fully banned in the U.S. until 1996. Today, leaded fuel can be used only in aircraft and off-road vehicles. Most other high-income countries followed suit. But in much of the developing world, leaded gasoline continued to be in widespread use at the turn of the millennium. So in 2002, UNEP launched an effort to work with governments and industry to phase out leaded fuel everywhere.